Hello, everyone. Welcome back to school. I hope that you had a wonderful break and welcome back to Math Tutorial. This week, we are going to be representing subtraction of fractions with like denominators. This is very similar to what we did just before the break with adding fractions. So I think that this will be a nice break into what we're doing now, or transition rather into what we're doing now. So if you remember, with adding fractions, the denominator stays the same. It does not change. All that we did was add the numerators. In this case, with subtracting fractions, we're going to keep the denominator as it is, and we're going to subtract the numerators. So looking at this example here, we have 5/6 minus 1/6, and we end up getting a difference of 4/6. Now let's try a problem together. It's always great to start with the fraction that is represented if a model is given to you, as it is here. So here we have 4 shaded out of 5, so that gives us 4/5. This second model here shows us 1 shaded out of 5, so that is 1/5. And then we're left with 3 shaded out of 5. So the difference here is 3/5. We're also going to be using number lines in order to work out some of these problems, and our children are already familiar with them. So let's continue to support them as they use number lines to help them make sense of fractions. So here we are going to complete the subtraction sentence for the model shown below. So here we're starting backwards. We have 4/5 at the end here. This number line is broken up into fifths. So we have 4/5 at the end here. We take 1/5 away from that 4/5 and we end up with this number here. So our subtraction sentence, or our equation here, reads 4/5 minus 1/5 gives us 3/5, which we also see here. This time around, we're going to be working with word problems, so it's really important that we pay attention to the keywords just to help us know and understand what is happening in the problem. So looking at this example here in orange, we have Marvin has 3/4 yard of material. He uses 1/4 to cover a chair. How much yard is he left with? So the solution here, the way to approach this problem would be to take the 1/4 that he has used to cover the chair away from the total number, or the total amount of material that he has, 3/4. So when we subtract, or when we take 1/4 away from 3/4, we end up with 2/4. Or if you remember equivalent fractions, we end up with 1/2. So Marvin is left with 1/2 yard. And now we move on to our second problem in red here. Sarah had 6/8 of a packet of cookies. After she ate some cookies, 2/8 of a packet remained. What fraction of the packet of cookies did Sarah eat? So here we are looking for an unknown. And in order to do this, it's really helpful if we can set up an equation. So 6/8 is the total number, or amount, excuse me, of packet of cookies that she had. So let's start off with 6/8. And then she ate some cookies that we don't know what the amount is, but we know and understand that if we eat or we take something away from it, our result is going to be less. And the operation that is going to help us in this case is subtraction. So she eats some amount. I'm going to leave just an empty box there for the amount. And after she eats the amount of cookies, she's left with 2/8. So if we already know that the denominator does not change, let's set that up. Let's put it in place. And now let's take 2 away from 6 in order to figure out what goes in the middle here. So once we do that, 6 minus 2 gives us 4. So here we realize that Sarah ate 4/8 of the packet of cookies. Of the packet of the packet. And I always like to stress that children label with the correct unit. Here we're talking about packet of cookies, so it's really important that we end up writing our answer that way. So 4/8 of the packet of cookies is what Sarah eats. So as always, I hope that this was useful. Here are some tips to remember. The numerator is the number at the top. The denominator is the total number of equal pieces, and it's the number at the bottom. When we subtract fractions, the denominator, just like when we add fractions, does not change. We're just going to subtract the numerators. And when drawing or using a number line, let's try to make sure that we are as accurate as possible, because it's going to help us reach the correct answer or arrive at the correct answer. And do not forget to double check and even triple check your work. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.